Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. I'm Kier, and as you can see, there's no Jason here today. I'll actually be doing a new movie review today, and I'll be doing this by myself. So the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is going to be The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. So without further ado, I say we get right into it. So basically, general premise, this is actually a sequel. So if you've seen the first movie, it's basically The Hitman's Bodyguard, which basically stars Samuel Jackson as the hitman and Ryan Reynolds as the bodyguard. So the general premise of that first film was basically that Samuel Jackson was his character needed to testify against like this like mobster guy that's in Europe or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly what country he's from, but he's basically been like killing people and committing genocide and all these like horrible crimes, and nobody's been really wanting or able to testify against him. As Samuel Jackson's character as a hitman is the only character that actually is willing to testify against him, and he needs to do so in order to get his wife out of who was in prison at the time, who's played by Salma Hayek in that first film. So the first film, he basically is on a transport basically to go and testify. The transport gets basically hijacked by the mobsters people that are trying to kill Samuel Jackson's character before he can actually testify. And so basically he ends up escaping and getting away and ends up he's being watched by like a police person or Interpol or something of that nature. And she ends up calling an old friend of hers to basically help and assist to basically bodyguard him, which ends up being like this triple rated ex-bodyguard who's played by Ryan Reynolds. And that's kind of the story of the first one. So I just kind of give you a little up to date on that. So it was like an action comedy. So this is the sequel. And in this one, basically, Ryan Reynolds' character is basically kind of no longer really doing the bodyguarding stuff anymore. He's kind of on a sabbatical in Italy, just taking a little vacation to kind of refocus and recenter. And he ends up being basically kind of hijacked himself by Salma Hayek's character, who says that her husband, who's the hitman, played by Samuel Jackson, basically needs him. And so they basically... long story short, they basically run and go to save like her husband who's been kidnapped. And, obviously the two of them don't get along quite as well, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson's character. And he technically says he didn't even want him. He said, I told you not to get him. And, so kind of a comedy and that kind of stuff. And so basically the three of them, they kind of get involved with Interpol and the government. Basically there's like a plot that they kind of stumbled upon with this like other like terrorist type organization that's out right now. And they basically kind of get in the middle of that terrorist organization where they have to like make a transfer and a buy. And since they were in the middle of it, they're basically working with Interpol in order to basically work together in order to make a buy so that they can catch this terrorist organization that's looking to like, transfer some money in order to get like these devices that like basically they kind of shut down like power grids or whatever case may be and cause like explosions and destructions and things of that nature. So they're a terrorist organization is what they're basically up against. So this one's a comedy, and the leader of that terrorist organization in this film is played by Antonio Banderas as well. The movie also co-stars Morgan Freeman as well. So it's a comedy. It's an action comedy. You kind of know what you're getting with this film. It's kind of a, I'm going to say check your brain at the door because, these, they're all kind of a little bit of age, like Ryan Reynolds, like in his 40s, I believe. Salma Hayek's in her 50s, and then Samuel Jackson's in his 70s. And they're all like these like action stars, like running around and shooting guns and doing all this kind of stuff, which, like I said, shake your brain at the door. And in the midst of that, Salma Hayek's character and Samuel Jackson's character are actually planning on having a baby as well, which is kind of adds to the humor because of, their ages. So there's also that element of it, but it's just a wacky, over-the-top comedy, and it's funny. I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed this one as well. I mean, none of them are like great films or anything of that nature. I'm not going to tell anyone to like, oh my God, you have to check this film out. It's just so amazing and riveting. But if you're looking for just like a fun action comedy, then I definitely recommend this one. This one I think actually might be a little bit funnier than the first one. And that's mostly because of Salma Hayek's character, because she is just a really just profane, profanity-laced person in this film. She's like constantly just like dropping F-bombs and using profanity and talking about sexual innuendos and things of that nature, which I think just made the film look like that much funnier. So I think she's the one that really sells the film. And I feel like she's really the star of the film. And Samuel Jackson, Ryan Reynolds characters, they're funny too, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of more in the background. I think it's really her vehicle. I think she's really the star of this one because she's the one that actually, has most of the punchlines, most of the really funny jokes. And she was the same way in the first film, but her character wasn't as big because she was in prison for most of the film. So they would cut away to her every once in a while in prison and that kind of stuff. But in this one, she's in almost every scene, and she steals the show in almost every single scene that she's in this film. So, like I said, it's one that I greatly enjoy. Highly recommend it. Giving it a grade. I know I'm saying I highly recommend it, and I'm giving it a much lower grade than I normally would, but I gave it 3 stars out of 5. But I still recommend it. I still think it's a really, really fun film. It's just a film that you can't take too seriously, I think. And I know that it's a film that not everybody is going to love. Some people don't like dumb action comedies. Some people are going to, if you're looking for something more higher brow, this is not going to be for you. It's definitely R-rated, like I said, just with the language alone. But there's a high body count. It's funny. It's got a, good cast. I think that the chemistry between the 3 of them is really funny, even though they all kind of like don't necessarily love each other. And it's just a funny film. Like I said, I saw it on Father's Day and with my son, and he enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it with him, and it was just a good time had by all. So definitely one that I recommend. I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5, and I'm going to give it just a big smile with no teeth. Well, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard? Did you like it? Was it funny? Did you not like it? Why? Why you liked it? Why you didn't like it? Let me know down in the comments. As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again with another show for you guys again real soon. And hopefully I'll have Jason with me next time as well. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.